Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's review an Irish whiskey. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiskey on the West Coast. My name is Matt, and I figured for St. Patrick's Day, we should probably be reviewing an Irish whiskey. And you might remember this from a previous video where we were trying to test what whiskey pairs best with a pint of Guinness. And this was actually the first whiskey up because it was an Irish whiskey. So I have in front of me here the Jameson Irish Whiskey Caskmates Series Stout Edition. Now, Jameson probably needs no introduction. Established in 1780, it's one of the oldest whiskey distilleries in the world. It's found in pubs all around the world. It might have been your first whiskey as a shooter, but this is a different spin on that classic Jameson profile. So what this is, it's a blend of Irish pot still whiskey, which is a blend of malted and unmalted barley, and grain whiskey. So it's a combination of those two elements. Now, what they did in collaboration with a craft brewery called the Franciscan Well Brewery in Cork, Ireland, they took their Jameson whiskey barrels, Irish whiskey barrels. Once they were empty, they sent them to this brewery where they aged their stout inside. Once those were emptied, they sent them back to Jameson, to the distillery, to then be the casks for Jameson Irish whiskey. And hence we have a Jameson Stout Cask Irish whiskey. Now, this whiskey is 40% ABV. It's colored. It's certainly chill filtered. So a lot of the things there, it's not age stated. A lot of the metrics we look for aren't here. But what we do have here is a very affordable whiskey. I picked this up for $36 Canadian. To put that in perspective, I mean, it's regular $39 Canadian in my market. Regular Jameson, standard run-of-the-mill Jameson is $37 Canadian. So this is about as cheap as you're gonna get in Canada for whiskey. And it's got an interesting finish, so why not give it a shot? Let's check out the review. All right, Jameson Caskmates Stout Edition. Let's see what it's got on the nose. It's brown sugar, honey. One of the first interesting notes that jumped out to me was oatmeal cookies. It very much is tending more towards a grainy sort of nose. Certainly a younger whiskey. There's elements of spice in it though. But the alcohol is noticeable. There's some citrus zest in there too. But yeah, probably the most interesting part of this nose is the oatmeal cookie note, which is interesting. I don't drink a lot of Irish whiskey. I really should drink more. I'd love to get into the Spot series. I've had Green Spot before and Yellow Spot, but get into some of the interesting finishes there. Get into a lot more Middleton, a lot more like Redbreast. It's something that I intend to do in the future. Obviously, finances dependent, but this is an interesting start. Oatmeal cookies though is yeah, it is a shy nose though, and again you can smell the youth on it as well. All right, let's check out the palate. Okay, so first off, honey, brown sugar, spice, got pepper on the finish right now. There, again, alcohol is noticeable, which it really shouldn't be for 40%, but it's there. Vanilla. For fruits, I got like a pear sort of note there. Pear and maybe red apples. But there is chocolate and coffee on the finish, which is kind of like what I was looking for with a stout cask finish. And maybe that's psychosomatic. Maybe I'm anticipating it being there and I'm placing it there. But I really do think, especially on the finish, I'm picking up chocolate and kind of like a roasted coffee sort of note. Another sip here. Yeah. Yeah, the chocolate's there. Coffee's there. A little bit nutty on the finish too, which is interesting. Still some ethanol, sort of a grainy, grassy sort of note as well. Again, it's young whiskey, but in the right situation, like a St. Patrick's Day party, where you don't want to focus too much on the whiskey, you want to focus more on socializing, having fun, seeing people you haven't seen in a long time, and just giving her. I think it might be a good whiskey for that situation. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna say that I'm really finding this a whole heck of a lot more interesting than regular standard run-of-the-mill Jameson. This is an improvement. If I had to choose between these two on the shelf, I'm going with the Caskmates for sure. One more sip and then we get to the score. Another unique note on there, Citra hops. If you ever had a Citra hopped like IPA or pale ale, you get that bitterness from a little bit of resin with the citrus notes, almost like oranges. I'm getting that here. There's the citrus element tied with a bitterness or a pininess, which is turning into that sort of hoppy note. So that's really interesting. So oatmeal cookies, Citra hops, coffee, chocolate. There's enough interesting things here to hold my attention. All right, score. As I said, I think this is a really interesting whiskey when you compare it to its regular run-of-the-mill brother, Jameson Irish whiskey. I'm going to give this a score of 77 out of 100. Now that might sound low, but thinking about the fact that I gave Macallan A Night on Earth in Scotland a 75 out of 100, this is acquitting itself quite well for a whiskey that is just a little bit over 1/5 the price of that Macallan. I'd probably buy this again at the end because I can definitely see a place for this, like a St. Patrick's Day party. It's decent enough whiskey, guys. If you have a few extra coins in your pocket and you want to just have a nice whiskey to go ahead and pour for someone who's just a casual whiskey drinker, this is perfect for that. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining me once again today. I'm loving the interaction, loving the comments. Comment down below if you've had this before. What do you think about it? Is it better than regular Jameson Irish whiskey? If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and come back for more in the future. Until next time, sláinte.